This is a segment from a recent live stream I did on how AI is changing OnlyFans, the AI tools I'm using to grow my business faster than I ever previously thought was possible, and how you can leverage these tools to do the same for your agency. I live stream every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern if you want to join sometime, and if you want to watch this full stream, I will be posting it on the channel in a few days, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss it. AI is extremely good for OnlyFans in the short to medium term. So like, let's say next 12 to 36, maybe let's say 12 to 24 months and be conservative because things are changing quite quickly. I think long-term AI is very bad for OnlyFans. I think it's an existential threat. And the reason that I think AI is bad for OnlyFans management, and the fan page industry in general is that the future of sex tech is not fan pages. So we're going to set aside AI for a second here. I want you guys to stop. If you've never done this, we're going to do a little thought exercise. Think about the customer experience of OnlyFans or of any of the average fan sites. So we have a user, let's call him Jeff, and Jeff sees a model that he thinks is hot on social media. So Jeff follows her, and we can skip ahead past the part where he watches a bunch of her reels and develops a parasocial connection, some kind of sexual desire for the model, and we'll just skip straight to the part where he subscribes to her OnlyFans, which is going to be a very, very small percentage of people, by the way. So now let's assume that Jeff is new to OnlyFans. He's not an existing OnlyFans user. He has to create an account. He has to put in his credit card info. He has to do ID verification. There's tons of friction, and every step that he takes decreases the likelihood that he goes through with it and decides to just use Pornhub to gratify himself instead. So Jeff finally pays the subscription price, and he has no idea what he's doing or what's happening. He's never been on the platform before. He sees a welcome message that says he has to pay $45 to see what's in the welcome message. So he's confused. He's already paid to get in. Now he has to spend more. And then a chatter follows up on the welcome message and tries to, says hi, and then tries to push Jeff into buying more content while pretending to be interested in. So Jeff is very disoriented at this point. He just wanted to see a girl naked. That's all. He just wanted to see a girl naked and jack off. But in for a penny, in for a pound. He already paid the sub price, so there's a bit of sunk cost there. And let's say that Jeff decides to pay for a PPV. And then he opens the PPV, and it's like lingerie photos. No nudes. So now he's pissed. He spent $50 in total. He's gotten absolutely none of what he came for. And the chatter is now pushing him to spend more. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. We're going to move on from Jeff. The point is that the entire experience is absolutely fucking awful for the customer. OnlyFans is a terrible customer experience. It's a bad product. Like, if we're completely honest with ourselves, if we're looking at it from the customer perspective, as we should be as marketers, that's our job. OnlyFans is a really profoundly awful product. It's predatory. It's fraudulent. So the thing that OnlyFans is competing with, my basic take on business is that, like, anything that relies on deceiving the consumer in order for them to keep spending is like a fundamentally untenable business model. I think that OnlyFans realizes that. That's why they're trying to sell. And I think that the future of this industry is going to be relatively short-lived. All that said, there's still a fuck ton of money to be made in the short to medium term. I know that this is something that probably not a lot of people in this chat want to hear, but it is important to recognize that the fan page industry is not going to be long for this world, and that better products are coming. So what are the better products? The biggest threat, I think, is going to be AI erotic companion sites. I think that this is going to completely eat the market for transactional buyers. And what I mean by that, actually, I'll start off by saying, if you're not familiar with these products, check out secretdesires.ai, check out AI. These are so much better than OnlyFans from a customer experience perspective. And I think that once these platforms figure out the marketing piece, it's basically game over for fan sites in general. So if you're not familiar with these platforms, premise is very simple. It's a chatbot, but you have thousands of characters to chat with. And it's usually like a mix of user-generated and platform-generated characters. You subscribe for a flat monthly or annual fee. That fee gives you access to all of the characters. So it's kind of like if you subscribe to OnlyFans as a platform and you got access to every single model's page, right? So right off the bat, you get way more selection, you get way more novelty, you have way more options. And then on top of that, you can spend credits. So there's the base platform fee, and then you just buy credits to generate images or videos of those characters, kind of like you just interact with any other AI tool that generates stuff. So, and there is a character on all of these websites. There's a character for literally every preference you can possibly imagine. If you're into petite goth girls, or you're into furries, or you're into 6,000-year-old eldritch abominations, or tentacled aliens, you can create characters from your favorite video game franchise. You can create
characters in your imagination. If you're, if you're so unbelievably depraved that the thing that you like doesn't already exist, you can just make it for yourself, and it can have whatever appearance and whatever personality and do whatever you want. The characters are always available. They respond instantly. So there's no wait time. There's no friction. I think we've all run into the issue with chatters where it's like you're chatting with a whale and you're taking 3 to 5 minutes to respond because there's a bunch of people. And you just get like the customers lose interest because they're sitting there with their dick in their hand waiting for 3 to 5 minutes. It's a long time to be sitting there with your dick in your hand. So, and then on top of all of that, all of these characters are totally personalized. They respond to emotion. They respond to context. You can tell them, it doesn't have to be sexual, right? You can tell them about the hard day that you had at work, or you can have them tie you to a radiator and beat you with jumper cables until you come. Doesn't matter, whatever you want. So, and then the last piece of this is on the image gen and video gen side, you can also you can make the thing do whatever it is that you want. You can create any image that you want. You can adjust their physical features. You can put them in different, literally whatever you want to do, whatever. Let your imagination run wild. You can do it. On top of all of this, it's way cheaper than OnlyFans. And you know exactly what you're getting because you have complete control start to finish over the entire experience. So, I think when I start talking about this stuff, I think one of the biggest objections that I get is, I think a lot of OFMs, they want to put their head in the sand because there's an assumption that there's always going to be demand for the fantasy of intimacy with quote unquote real girls. But the thing is, our product, as I mentioned earlier, is totally fraudulent in that regard anyway, because all of the comms are just done by chatters. So you're not talking to you're not talking to the 19-year-old yoga instructor. You're talking to a 30-year-old Pakistani guy, right? And as that's widely becoming public knowledge. So as that knowledge on the consumer side increases, it basically clues the customer in, even if it doesn't make them leave outright. Like, I think a lot of us are like, we understand that there's some willing delusion on the customer side, but like, why would I, as a consumer of the OnlyFans experience, if I know that I'm like not actually talking to the person that I think I'm talking to, when a relationship is happening through a screen, an AI is just as real as a flesh and blood girl. The whole experience is intermediated by your computer, right? So it's like, if I'm talking into my computer, I might as well be talking to a computer. It doesn't matter to me if it's a real girl. I'm never going to fuck her anyway, right? So my prediction is that these AI companion products are going to eat up the transactional buyers first. So these are the guys who are on OnlyFans purely for sexual content, not for the parasocial relationship with a specific creator. So I think the whales are going to stick around the longest. But as these erotic companion products get better, and as we get closer to true AI companions, and eventually we're going to have fully embodied like companion and sex robots, that's a real thing that's going to happen eventually. We're not quite there yet, but like when that happens, when that transition occurs, virtually all previous forms of porn are just going to become obsolete. For the same reason and in the same way that social media is changing. We're moving towards a more personalized world. So why would I consume a product if you have an OnlyFans creator that has 5,000 paid subscribers, why would I consume a product that's made for 5,000 people or that's made to appeal to 1 million people when I could consume a product that is made for me and only me? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. That's the direction that all consumer products are moving towards. And AI is increasing the rate at which that becomes possible, of like truly personalized products, truly personalized media experiences. So the other big threat is that OnlyFans is to OnlyFans itself, not necessarily the fan page industry, but to OnlyFans itself. There's platforms that are now competing with OnlyFans and starting to consume market. So big problem with OnlyFans as a product, besides the customer experience, it's also not great as a business owner. Like the B2B product of OnlyFans sucks. OnlyFans doesn't develop for the people that actually produce a majority of their revenue, aka us, agency owners. So that's why there's so much proprietary software that's built specifically for OnlyFans. And now other platforms are starting to fill that gap. So there's platforms like FanView and Room 11 that are now being built specifically with agencies and with AI influencers in mind. Again, back to we're talking about AI here. On OnlyFans, you still need to associate a model's identity with the page, meaning that there's a human in the loop, meaning that there's still ID verification that's required. It's a very cumbersome process. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it's an additional layer of friction. And usually if you're, let's say you have like some Colombian salary model and you're using her ID to create the account, you still got to pay her, right? Versus these other platforms like FanView and Room 11, you can have a pure AI creator. There's no IDV process required. And then also the rev share agreement. So like Room 11 offers 10% rev share as opposed to the OnlyFans 20% haircut. And you can import your entire OnlyFans content library in 3 clicks, and they have in-platform video gen. So, like, these AI specific platforms are also going to start eating market share from OnlyFans. I don't think that they're going to be the last man standing. I think that the AI erotic companion platforms are still a much better product. But even in the short to medium term, these other platforms are going to start coming in and eating some of OnlyFans' lunch. And as AI influencers grow in popularity, we're already seeing that trend. The platforms that develop features specifically to attract agencies, to attract power users, are going to drain market share from OnlyFans necessarily.
If you got value out of this video, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I put out new content every single week exclusively for OnlyFans creators and managers, and I promise you, you will not find this level of depth anywhere else on YouTube. If you're serious about getting cracked at organic social 4OF, I have a ton of free resources on my website, facelessfrancis.com. While you're there, you can join the waitlist for my upcoming course, the most comprehensive OnlyFans marketing course ever created. Spots are limited for early access. I am giving a discount to early birds, and most importantly, the people on that waitlist are going to be the first in the world to get invited and have an insane competitive advantage in OFM. So head over to facelessfrancis.com, grab the free resources, get on the list, and I will see you in the next one.